good day. Hi, good day. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Chatterbox Live. Chatterbox Chronicles Life at 5. I'm your host, Hazelyn Lynch, baker, storyteller, author, lover of all things Caribbean. Whether you're tuning in from Trinidad and Tobago or across the globe, thank you for spending this moment with me. Every Sunday, I spotlight creative soul who are keeping our culture vibrant, from authors and artists to everyday heroes with big stories. Drop a flag, and if this is your first time, welcome. Excuse me. One second. How are you all today? Who's joining on? My guest today is Joel Frederick, author, writer, and poet. So let me see. I always have trouble joining someone. So let me see if I can get him on. I tell him just to come on if he's I don't know. Share broadcast. Joel, are you on? I don't know. I can never see the people. Okay, let me try this again. Request. One second, excuse me, 1 second. Sunny here at the moment, really hot. Hi, Olerio Diaz, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Oh, my biggest supporter. Hi, Jane Monroe from the UK, how are you? How's the weather in UK, Jane? I don't know. Olivia, I always have trouble seeing my guests. Well, most times. And I don't know what I do wrong or what I don't do. But they're supposed to see the live. I invite them. But I didn't see Joel Frederick name pop up. So, but look it right here. Let me see if... I sent... Hi, Joel. Joel?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Hey, welcome. Can you see me?
I was seeing you a little while ago, and you just disappeared from my
I don't know what I am. I actually get to add you on. I saw your name flashing, but I seen I don't know. I'm not seeing you. I don't know why sometimes I can see the people and sometimes I can't. I was even trying to do it on my computer, which I never did a live on my computer. But it has so many.
You can refresh your page, and I probably will do the same, and you'll see if we see each other.
Where's the refresh button? Let me see. Hi, Shaman Hamilton. How are you? Lot of rain. Oh, okay. Jane Monroe. That's my pen, one of my pen pals from Canada. Okay, so I'm going to try something. You all please don't leave. I'm going to try. Hi, Anne-Marie Citran. Thanks for joining. Okay, what you was saying just now, Joel?
I was saying refresh your screen, I think there's two arrows on your top right-hand side. I
I'm
just
seeing.
did that a while ago, and
I'm
it
seeing what?
refreshed. But I'm still not seeing you. I'm hearing you,
Oh,
but I'm not seeing you.
I don't know what is it. What it is. Well, I'm seeing anybody what I could bring on camera except the guests. It asks me if to bring whoever is on. No, the guests on the show. I mean, people in the audience, but I'm not seeing you. But I pressed it just now. Bring 12 on camera. I did, and I not. Anyway, that's okay. I think. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's the phone. I don't know what it is. Hi, Sota. How are you?
But
How's your writing going? Hi, Curtin. I just saying hi to people who's watching. Arlene
let
Walron.
me
Hey, I didn't pronounce your name wrong. What?
let me come back out and rejoin again and see if
Come
that
back in.
will help.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, fine. Joel is going to go back out and see if he could get back in because I like to see the audience when I'm speaking, the guests when I'm speaking to them. I didn't know you would have come on today, Sota. Did I say hi, Curtin? I think I did. Annette, Annie Citron, Olivia Diaz. Oh, Arlene, I said your name right. Arlene Walron. Everybody week has been going good. How's your Sunday? Who cooked callaloo and pie and all kind of thing? How are you feeling? Cheryl is also another pen pal of mine from the UK. Well, actually, she's Trini born, but she lives in the UK. She has been there for many, many, many years. We met her a few times. Well, the first time was in Okay, let me see if I could get back. Accept. Okay, your audience is set to go public. You can watch the like add in. Okay, Jane is adding, but still I don't see him. But it's adding. I don't know why. What is that? Change to viewer current role guest. Let me see. I don't know what. Remove Joel Frederick as a guest in your broadcast. No, he's a guest. No, I can't. No, it's saying remove Joel Frederick as a guest in your broadcast. Joel Frederick will still be able to watch the broadcast. No, that must be something I pressed by accident. I just press it to see. That's okay. Let us. My guest. My. Hmm? I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't know what it is. Why some guests I could see. I've seen a few already, and most times when I'm watching back the episode, I do see the guests, but I don't know. Is anybody seeing Mr. Frederick? Sometimes the people. Hi, Kalita. How are you? How's New York? Okay. Well, let us get on then, because I don't know. I might have to get a new. I don't know if it's the phone or it's just me. But let me see. Wait. You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, we'll
Of
make do with
course,
what
I
we
know.
have.
Yes, we'll go with what we have. So today's guest is Mr. Joel Frederick. He's a poet, a writer, and an author of 7 poetry books. So, would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
Well, what to start? I think you already started good there. Yeah. So my name is Joel Frederick, and I am a poet and an author. I just have a little correction. I have written and published 6 poetry books. My 7th book is actually a memoir of my years growing up on Agostini Street Crep. So the name of that
Ooh.
book is entitled Excerpts from Agostini. Yeah,
Okay. Yay, congratulations. That's lovely.
thank you.
Um, so okay, let me see. What should I ask you first? One second. What first drew you to poetry, and how has your writing evolved over time?
I will say my deceased stepfather, Clifford Lizama. He was a poet in his own right. He died being unpublished. So a lot of what you see in me, I got from him because he used to write poetry, and as a young child, I would have seen him writing his poetry, and of course, it intrigued me to such an extent that I started mirroring him, and I started writing. And then when I reached teenage years, I started to write for some friends who was interested in girls in girls, the opposite sex. So I grabbed onto that moniker at a very early age.
Yes.
And as the years progressed and passed by, I have seen my poetry evolve and come into its own right. Yeah.
Yes. And Sota said she's seen your beard and the crucifix on your chest.
Oh my.
Some people, Curtin Monroe say he's seen your upper face and he's seen my upper face and his lower face. Okay, well that's good. Upper and
Okay.
lower, well, they seen half of you then.
I feel it's your phone. I feel it's on your side.
Maybe my side, but I don't know what to do. Let me see. I don't know. I always
Because
get. I don't even know
I'm
what to
watching my
touch.
screen there. I'm not seeing you, but I'm seeing me. I'm seeing my whole face, and I'm seeing the background as well.
Well, yes, you will see that. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that is. It don't have anything I really touch. It's only what, but I don't know what it is about the phone because it have a back free part under me. I guess so. I should see the guest, but I don't know. I always most times I always guess, and I don't know why. And I try to check it out already, but some people they don't know what to do because they have never gone live before. Even people who
Okay.
do technology, I don't know. Anyway, um, okay, you've ca- caffeinated whispers and butterfly on a purple moon. Am I right? I don't know if I got that wrong.
Yeah.
You have
You
book
pronounced
right.
the titles correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Such evocative titles. How do you choose the names for your books?
I believe because it's how I'm feeling at that point in time. My very first book entitled Caffeinated Whispers, I wanted that book to quietly scream at the reader. Incidentally, the cover that is in the book right now is not what I really envisioned. I really wanted to be like a cover of something that emulates coffee, but I could not have
Mm-hmm.
found a good picture to capture that image now. So I choose this other image with the person's face
Mm-hmm.
and the hands to the head. That because sometimes when you drink coffee, it tends to stimulate your mind and your thoughts and give you a boost of energy. So I
Yeah.
wanted the cover to kind of encapsulate all of my emotions because I wanted my first book to cover all facets of my emotions from the highest heights of joy to the lowest depths of despair and all the other emotions in between. So hence the name Caffeinated Whispers. I wanted the poetry to quietly scream at the reader.
Right. That's interesting. And I'm sorry that your stepfather passed and that he didn't get to accomplish his dream, but at least he started it because he started to write. I think that is very important that he did, and but it's nice to see when you start your dream that you actually go further. At least you started and something come out of it. But it's a pity he didn't get to see it. But at least you got that from him, so that is quite you carrying out his the legacy.
Yes, of course. It's well, he's living in my books. He is living
Yeah.
vicariously through my publications and
Mhm.
through his inspiration. He's living through me. So
Yes.
wherever he is, in a good place, I pray that he's looking down
Mhm.
on me and smile and say, well done. Thank you,
Yes.
son, for continuing my work, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. You know, um, many of your poems explore love, vulnerability, masculinity. What message do you hope men, in particular, take away from your work or
Ooh,
can take away?
that's a deep question. All
Hmm.
right. Just the other day I was talking to somebody about that because I know there's a lot of self-help books for women and what women should do and not do, and but there are hardly any books that really challenges men or allow men to be vulnerable. I um have been trying to put men on a different path that is okay to be vulnerable. My books, yes, they are for male and female, but
Yes.
I wanted to motivate men as well, seeing that I am a writer and I'm in touch with my emotions, and I am publishing these poetry books that are touching on a lot of subjects from love, as I say, love is the main theme, you know, that to
Mhm.
give men the courage to do the same, that is
Yeah.
okay to be vulnerable, you know, to put them in that space where they'll be comfortable because they're seeing somebody else getting in touch with their emotions, and to do
Hmm.
the same, and you know, and to give them the courage to keep on doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. Because yes, it's really true. They don't have a lot of books out there for men like that. And I think when I interviewed this guy, I think Dylan Rambali, he wrote a book on how to get home, and I think how not to get home. Sorry, I'm saying how to get home. And I think it was a book like, what on social, telling men, teaching men a lot of different things and stuff because, today in society and thing as well, it have so many domestic abuse and so many people committing suicide because of relationships and so many horrible things are going on with people. And I think books like these could teach men really how to equip themselves and but I think sometimes people go into relationship and not even aware of themselves and the other person and stuff like that. They don't learn a lot of stuff. They just go into sometimes relationship kind of blindly, if that
Yeah,
makes
yeah, of
any
course.
sense.
Yeah, of
Hmm.
course. I agree with you with that because there's a lot of people who are getting into relationships who are not healed, and then when they get into new relationships, they tend to bleed on the other person, you know.
Hmm.
So we all go through our challenges, but there are hardly any outlets for men to really express themselves because, and well, healthy outlets, because most of us men will get ourselves involved in a lot of negative vices, and I have always at an early age wanted to turn a negative into a positive. So
Yeah.
if I'm stressed out, I will exercise. I will tend to my plants. I will write songs. I will exercise a lot, play basketball, do a lot of stuff where I could get my more positive as opposed to going down that negative path, because it's very easy for us men to go down that negative path and to adopt these negative devices. But once you have some kind of strong foundation that you could lean on, something that could steer in the right direction, it is more better for us to at least try that, because a lot of men are struggling silently with their mental health as well. It's a silent
Hmm.
scourge upon a lot of us, and sometimes it tends to explode in the most, negative way. So this is my contribution, trying to put a new spin in letting men have that positive outlet, but in a healthy way. Hence the poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this mental health is real, eh? It is so real. A lot of
Yeah.
people suffering from that unknown and just going about their life, and so many people don't know. Because when you see people, you really don't know what they're going through, and sometimes you just assume things about people, and you don't know what he or she may be going through, but it's really real, you
Okay,
know. And you're seeing
that's
it more
correct.
and more today, more and more, so many things. So sometimes we just had to that's why it's so good to see um just tell somebody something kind, even just saying good morning. Sometimes you never know what somebody day is like, what they're going through, and sometimes for you just giving them a smile, something simple as a smile. You never know what that could do to the next person. That person could be
Yeah,
going to jump off a bridge or do something really harmful, and you just saying, "Good morning, have a nice day. Oh, your tie looks nice," or something opening the door, something simple. Some people think you have to be rich to do things for others. You don't have to. Just
yeah,
kindness is everything.
yeah.
Yeah, at least I think so. I don't know. I try to live by that motto, you know, being kind. Um
Hmm.
yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask this, although I'm sure you answered this already, but did I ask the one with the therapy? You describe writing as a form of therapy. No. Can you share a moment when writing helped you through something difficult?
Well, yes, in 2023, I was going through well, I was going through a lot of personal challenges, and in some way, I'm still going. The day that I, of course, ran to my pen and paper as my therapist, and I started
Mm-hmm.
off probably just jotting down some pieces of poetry, and it came up to about 10 pieces. And then I say, okay, this is going to work out into something. If it's helping me, why
Mm-hmm.
not try to make a book out of it and publish that book and see if it might help others as well. So I
Yeah.
end up writing that book in 10 days. That book was called The Divergent Languages of Absolution. It's a
Mm-hmm.
book about forgiveness. It tends to mirror the stages of grief because we all go through different stages when we have to forgive someone. Nobody should put a timeline as to how long you have to forgive somebody or if you should forgive that person to begin with. We'll forgive
Mm-hmm.
somebody because based on your religion, believes God say to forgive, but no one
Yes.
should put a timeline on how long your process should be. Sometimes we go from anger, shock, resentment, redemption, and then we start the process all over again. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the book in 10 days because there was a lot of, I just had was to come out of myself because if I stayed in that place for too long, I
Mm-hmm.
probably may not have been here today, or probably I might have been in a worse position. So I wanted to cleanse myself from all of that unforgiveness because unforgiveness is really a chain and a life sentence to a certain extent. Where if you keep yourself in that place, the longer you stay there, it's harder and it's more difficult for you to come out of it. And I had many occasions where I was in those dark places. And I tell myself, never again. Yes, it's okay to feel a particular way, but not to make it your address and a permanent address. It just pass through. It is what it is. Life goes on. Heal and move on. So yeah, so hence the divergent languages of absolution came about because I
Right.
wanted to release myself all of that trauma.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And I think like how you with poetry and you go through so many things and things. I think sometimes maybe as I told Dylan, maybe too you could go to like have convention or see how they do those TED talks away. Or maybe you go like into prisons or schools as the children still young and different places and you could hold like talks for men, you know, based on so many different you know, do you think?
That that's a good idea is because I have been thinking along that same train of thought as well because it's okay to write the books and put them out there, but sometimes people need to see the face and hear the experiences of the poet and the author, besides just giving them a book to read. I think we live in the age of technology now where people they want to connect with you. They want to see what makes you vulnerable. So they will say, well, all right, if you have a story to tell, why should I listen to you? Why should I read your book? Because if you are going through something and they could relate to that same experience, they might be more inclined to effect some kind of change into their life. So what you're saying there is part and parcel of what I intend to do in the near to distant future.
That's awesome because I sometimes, these thoughts just come into my head and I can see it now because in that way it could help, a lot of people as well, by just
Yeah.
helping you heal, you helping a lot of people as well too, because I think that is so great. And then so many people get inspired as well, and you never know when people hear these talks what could happen. And maybe you could also start a blog as well, talk to people every day.
Mm.
That's good too.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
For calling me if they don't know I'm online. Okay. I hope you all, everybody, if you have anything so far to ask Mr. Joel Frederick, please put it in the chat. It's quite okay. He will answer your questions. Let me see if anybody said anything. Hi, Jackie Hamilton. I'd like to say hi. Hi, Anne S. Henry. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Ria. Oh, hi, Amani. Amina, sorry. I don't know why I say Amani. That's just wrong. That is one of my nieces.
Somebody saying, Hazel,
Hmm?
try changing the camera view and see if you might get through.
My camera, he said that I not even seen a camera here. The only thing I seen
Well,
is I seen the flash. The flash is off. That's the only thing. I not seen the camera. I just have the signs on it is the microphone, the flash, and the arrow pointing down, and to just switch the phone back to and front. That's all. Oh gosh, yeah. I not seen any camera there. I don't know if I have to come out and go back in. You know what? I need to take a course or something in tech because when you put the flash on, okay. I don't know. Anyway, they're hearing you so, but I'll listen every
you'll,
week. I will. Hmm?
you'll figure it out as time goes on. You'll figure it
Yes,
out.
I don't know. And I Google
This
it, and they tell me, and I do the regular stuff. What they say, and still I don't know. Which
mm-hmm.
of your 7 books challenge you the most to write, you think, so far? Is the
Ooh,
7th one finished yet? Yes, the 7th one is
yeah,
the memoir.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
the memoir is done. Yes.
It will have been this last will have been the memoir
Yes.
excerpts from
Agostini.
this was
Yeah.
challenging to write. Yeah,
Mm,
because what had happened, I was to go deep into my reservoir of memories and
mm,
regurgitate a lot of childhood experiences, which some were traumatic, and even into my because not only did this memoir incidentally is covering a period of time from the age of 4 years to the age of 18 years, but it
mm,
also plays into the present time as well. So this book, incidentally, of course, I dedicate most of my books to my mom, and this
mm.
book was rightfully dedicated to her because I did not want her to pass without leaving part of her story behind.
Yes.
So this book covers a lot of taboo subjects. It covers the subject around generational curses and 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 certain kind of religion and a lot of childhood trauma and so on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all that. Of course, I have a lot of funny moments growing up as well. Boys will be boys, so I have a lot of funny
Yes.
moments growing up as well. But it all encompasses that time period where I grew up in a very challenging neighborhood and an equally
Yes.
challenging family as well. So a lot of
Mm.
secrets are in that book. It's a very compelling and revealing book. has, as I said, it has that touchy subject about generational curses and the
Yeah.
trauma and all that comes along with it. Even in my adult years, I am still seeing facets of that from one generation happening, and I'm really seeing it coming to pass. That if we don't heal certain negative traits in the generation before, it tends to spill over in the new generations, and it becomes so normalized that it's come like a way of life now, because people don't know that they are sick. They just continue that cycle of dysfunction, and it
Yes.
takes sometimes it takes one person to try to break it, but that one
Mm,
person not necessarily want to be a chain breaker. It's just to tell the self consciously that what it is seen in their family and their surroundings, that they don't want for the self anymore, and they try to
mhm.
move away from that. And you trying to move away from that makes you public enemy number one, because they will say, well, we think he is, we feel he is, feeling better than
Yes.
me. No,
Yes.
I just want better for myself going
Yourself.
forward, and not to perpetuate the cycle of that dysfunction anymore. So
Mhm.
this, to answer the question, yes, this very last book was very challenging to write.
Yeah. Well, it was must have one, eh? And yeah, those generational curses, we really must stop them so they don't go on into the next generation and stuff like that. But a lot of people just carry it on like a badge, you know. And I hate when people,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and when people say you think you're better, you ain't better than nobody, but you just want to be different than how you
Mhm.
was, how you is, your maybe your life, and different things. You just want to be better. You have a dream. You want to do what your God-given talent that God give you, and take it further than that. But some people like they don't understand. I don't know, or maybe they don't have those dreams, or we all have dreams, but I don't know. Some people, I think, don't do anything about it. Maybe some people scared. Maybe they don't have the funds, or they just can't be bothered. I don't know. We have so many talented people. Go ahead.
Here's what you see. Just the other day, I was listening to a conversational, motivational speech by Les Brown, and he's saying the most expensive place in the world right now is the cemetery, because a lot of
Yes.
people die with all their dreams. Everybody is born with some kind of talent and form of talent,
Mhm.
and and
Yes.
and, and instead of us trying to harness those talents, a lot of us bury the talents in the ground like if it's some kind of gardener, and we
Yeah.
don't fertilize it,
Hmm.
leave it there, and it dies. It,
Yeah.
it dies. Sometimes it dies with us. And I know at a very early age, I was born with the gift of writing. I mean, I could sing as well. I could do other stuff as well, but I was
Hmm.
always blessed with that gift of writing from an early age. And it's only when my
Yes.
stepfather came into my life I realized, okay, um, this is going to help me one way or the other. I did not have any intention of becoming an author and writing any book.
Mm.
And here I am, 7 books later. I'm an author in my own right. And I love doing what I am doing, because it is helping me with my own journey, to becoming the man that God want me to be. Yeah, so the most expensive place is the cemetery. Everybody die with their dreams and their hopes, and you know. So I
Yeah.
could understand a lot of people they are afraid of change, and they're afraid
Hmm.
of sometimes they're afraid of success as well, because none of us want to take that chance and that risk of, because all of us kind of comfort in our own comfort zone, and sometimes we have to be, because just doing this right now is a big deal for me, because
Hmm.
I would say I'm an introvert. I will say I'm a kind of ambivert. I am social with those who I feel comfortable with, and if I'm not comfortable with somebody, I'll be in my shell. So just being on this platform, trust me, is a big deal for me. But sometimes you have to come out of your shell,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
to find your destiny, yes, destiny, and to reach your destiny.
Yeah. I think sometimes we get too complacent. I don't know if it's within ourselves or our lives. And fear is such fear. I don't know. That is like that is not a good thing to be fearful. Yes, you have to be like you have to be what is the word? You don't feel like some like recently I was talking to my neighbor and I say, hey, I ain't see you for a while. Like you went Dubai, I always say in Dubai for, and he said, no, I'm afraid of flying. I said, well, you could take maybe a yacht or something to go there. Me afraid of sailing. I said, but if you love to travel, how would you ever get there? You might just have to swim. And the things I was telling him about fear. I said, but you can't fear. You see, you could get up, you could cross the street. Anything could happen at any time. But you have to live. Don't let fear rule your life. Fear it's not a good thing. You know, just get up and live and do what your God put you here to do and try something. If you fear everything, it would never come out your house.
Well,
You know,
that's it.
fear.
Fear,
Hmm.
fear could steer in two directions. It can either
Yes,
motivate you or demotivate you.
that's right.
I mean, not. As the thing is with anybody. Yes, you have to. Yes, fear is part of life, but you still
Hmm.
have to be courageous and fearful at the same time. Say, even if you're fearful, do it still, because
Yes.
that is where the courage comes out of you, and it builds character. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, you have to try. If you never try, how you know? I always wanted to be an author since I was a little girl. I think I had a dream. I used to read a lot. I don't even remember what age I started reading, but I always had a love for books, and I think I just had that. I don't know if it was a dream or God or who told me that one day I'll be a published author. Just so I don't know if I was 5 or 7. And I used to tell my parents that, but it didn't happen. And I say, you know what, God forbid anything had to happen. I want to see my dream. I want to start my dream. And I think success is starting your dream. You have to start it, whatever you want to be. It's not easy to be an author for us anyway. It's a very hard journey, but we're trying to
Yeah.
go out there every day, write our books, doing what we have to do. It have a lot of people who are indie authors and they struggle to come out there because it's not a cheap thing. It's very costly. Even some people could edit themselves, do all their illustration, and some like me cannot do that. And some of us, if we write in children's book or different kind of books, you want illustration. It's very costly, editing. And sometimes people think, that all these things, when they hear the prices, they're like, what? Yes, it's costly. It's a costly thing, but at the end of the day, I love to write. I never know I would write a book about a cat. I who knew a cat? Sometimes when people ask me, what's your book about? I just be like a cat, a French Lucy cat. They're like, eh? And you tell them this story, and then they get so inspired about this cat, who is just a fictional character. But you could write any story, poetry, anything, a memoir, a novel, a real story or whatever, and people could be so inspired by something in that book. Everything we write, somebody will be so inspired. So I say that book about a cat. People is telling me they're so inspired about others. But it is so good to live out your dream and do what you want, what God bring you on this to do, and be inspired. And also, if one person becomes inspired by you or me or any of us, that's our job done there already, you know? Because when a
And,
lot of people just tell me I inspire them. Hmm?
yeah, and well, and that's good
Yeah.
pop
So,
up in Piaco Plaza. And an
mm-hmm.
ageable lady, 76 years, one of the vendors who was working on a table alongside me. And she said, well,
Yes.
she said, these are your books? I said, well, yes. She said, you write all these books? I said, yes.
Uh,
I always want to write a book. I said, well,
yeah.
what you waiting? She said, well, I
Yeah.
know the process. So I
Mm,
started telling her about Daniel Francis book one
yes.
time. And I said, well, you had to
Yes.
go on, well, you have grandchildren, go on to KDP and sign
Yes.
up and system. I tell her, all you have to do is just start. Start your
Yes.
manuscript. stories will come. She say, well, yes, because I want to leave a legacy for my children and grandchildren. And say, well, yes, everybody have a book in
Yes.
them. All you
Yeah.
have to do is just start, and then
Mm-hmm.
don't somebody steer in the right direction. You will eventually finish your book. You don't have to write no big thing. You can start up with a little
No.
chapbook first, and then from there, on the strength of that, you branch off and you write something more thick, with more pages, more full. So I'll
Them
give them a
something.
contact
Yeah.
number, everybody, the website
Mm-hmm.
you could go on. I tell her, remember tell them on the chat, I
Yes, I saw
recommending that
it.
transit book too much. I should be
Mm-hmm.
getting some commission. You
Yes, yes.
understand? Because there's a lot of people who want to write, but they don't
Yes,
know the process how to get
they don't
started.
know the process. Well, I just tell them the first thing they to do is get a book and just start to write. Whatever thoughts you
Yeah.
have, just write it there. And it's so easy. Then I tell them the process. But
Mhm.
most time in the media, it's like everybody and their grandmother now want to be a writer or have it in them.
Yeah,
And I say anybody could write,
yeah,
and
yeah,
some
yeah.
people just say it's so hard. It's not hard. If you really want to do it, it's not hard.
It's
Sheldon
not hard.
Lewis said, hmm?
No,
I'm
it's not hard.
reading
It's not
just,
hard.
oh, um, Sheldon Lewis said, people always live in the shadow of the opinions of others and they wait on their validation. Somebody online said
Hmm.
that. That is so true. I'm not waiting on nobody validation. And don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't. You do it, and sometimes they say, don't let
Well,
your
I will go
left
back.
hand know what your right hand doing.
Yeah, I will go back to Les Brown again because I've been listening to him lately because he have been giving me a lot of motivation. I've been in
Mhm.
some dark places recently, and he was saying, don't let somebody's opinion of you become your reality.
Yes,
So no matter, and I have a quote that was similar to that. I wrote this quote without even listening to him recently. It's a quote I wrote some years ago, saying, unless, well, right now, I forget the quote,
that is
unless I
okay.
get caught up in other people's perception of me, unless
Hmm.
I get caught up in other people's perception of me, I will write my own story. So basically
That's right.
saying, I don't care what you want to say about me, I have my life to live. I don't care what you
That's right.
say, I will live life according to what God has for me and what my
Yes.
dreams and my purpose is. Yeah.
Yeah. I do say the same thing. I can't be bothered who do like me and who do this. I didn't come for, I don't know. Life is so simple and beautiful. Just treat people
Hmm.
with kindness, go through life, live your life, thank praise God and whatever. Life is thing. But so much people make life so difficult. And I think if everybody started to think different, leave all the negativity behind and just think positively and stop all this fighting, this backbiting, fight and killing this. I think this place could do a 360 or whatever and switch around. But I don't know.
Yeah,
That is
yeah, yeah.
I must be living in a thing world, a fairy tale like my stories. I don't know. But I think sometimes if people really stop thinking like that, the first thing people think is negative. Some situation is always negativity. And I always ask them, why you always think negativity instead of you coming out to work in the day, you have a business. Oh, business slow. Yes, we all know business slow, but it's how you do your business, what you do. Do you have anything on social media? People know what you're selling. Do you take pictures, and if it's closed, do you take pictures and put it online? Are you on marketplace? You could do so many things.
Hmm.
Yes. Do you model your clothes or have somebody? I don't know. You have to come up with creative ways, just as us, to sell our books and stuff. It's not easy.
Exactly, exactly,
Pop-up
exactly,
shops and do all kind of thing, and
exactly.
pop-up shops is so expensive to go to. It's
Hmm.
not free, but we try. Sometimes we go to pop-up shop, as pop-up shop could be as much as 600 sometimes, and you go there and you sell one, not even one bookmark, and it's not easy,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
sometimes you
yeah.
market yourself, mm-hmm, and
I
things.
know
So
I have been to my fair pop-up shops, and sometimes you win
mhm,
and sometimes you lose. Even the one I
yeah,
went to yesterday, I think it was, I wouldn't call the organizer's name, was more geared towards the organizers becoming financially in a better place than the
Mm-hmm.
vendors
Yes.
having to sell their products. It was
Yes.
poorly planned, but as I say,
Mm,
sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So they keep on pushing.
yes.
That's all.
And I think a lot of them, they really on the money. Because I remember we had one, not we, this person came from England. I think she's a Trinidadian. A lot of them was foreign. And the for a boot was 1,000 and more. And somebody called me and asked me if I want to go. I say at $1,000. Man, some books I could get with that. But I end up going.
Yeah,
But we was sharing a boot. We thing and then at the last minute he dropped out. But I say, well, it's in a hotel. It's the Radisson. So it must have, all those people there. It had people, it had a ship in and stuff. These people advertise only on their page, but it didn't advertise. The people in the hotel didn't even know it had something big there. If you see things, you wouldn't believe some of the things these Trinidadian makes beautiful things, you know. And it was just a waste of time, and it was like 3 days. I didn't think I sell a book. I didn't think I did sell anything. I got it at
wow.
500 after because I tell the lady I was pulling out. I said, but 1,000 to pay to what is a if I did pay 1,000, man, I would have been breaking down somebody's glass right now. But I mean, as I say, win some, you lose some. But it was poor
Yeah, yeah,
management, and I think they were really after the money and all because I really give them a piece of my mind. They talk, but a lot of people talk, but nothing with behind that. They talk a lot of thing and sound like they're talking something, but they don't. And money
But
is
a lot
not everything.
I've seen on Facebook a lot of companies or whatever those people must be doing, a lot of pop-up being advertised, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be very careful now and pick and choose
Yeah, we
which
have to
pop-up to
select
go to.
it.
I think
It's
I
good,
think
yes.
as, yeah, as I'm getting more experience, I think eventually those pop-up shops, well, for me, I might
Mhm.
stop going to pop-up shops on them and probably start as authors start doing our own stuff,
Yes, I
you
think we
know?
should do that.
Yeah.
I think to do something with this literacy thing. I think they need to be in our lives, like involved more, and like pave a kind of way so we could do more as well. Because I don't think they really give us the like they need to be doing more for us to be doing
Mhm.
more as well. Although we do more, but you know what I mean. They should have some kind of thing for authors. Some, you know, I love pop-up shops though, but it's really expensive to go there. They should be paying for that first or something. And do more literacy, wise, it have so many things they could do. And I find like when you go into schools and stuff to matter is government and libraries, I find we should be paid for that. That is a service. We have to take transport to go there. And I've been doing it for
Yeah.
free for the longest. I mean, I love doing it. I love meeting the children and people. But at the end of the day, it's a service you're doing. You have to get paid.
Mhm.
That's your job. All of that is
Yeah.
being an author. Why don't they pay? In other countries, they do. And then you come home and, oh, no, we don't pay for that. We don't have money. I was like, oh, you know, it's not easy. This,
Yeah.
because you are an author, it's not easy. Let me
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
any.
Takes a lot of
Yes,
time.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot. Let me see if anybody see anything in the meantime. Because sometimes when you come off the live, you just see so many questions, come up, and then it's like, oh my god, I didn't see it when I was on. Let me see if anybody asks anything. Hi, Jackie Hamilton, Nick Nesbitt. These are I guess when he was reading earlier, talking earlier, and Sheldon was saying as well, it is a gift you discover in yourself. Yeah, everyone has an
Mhm.
inherent gift just waiting to be unearthed and discovered. That is so true, so true. But a lot of people don't take that gift and do anything. Anyway, how does being a Trinidadian shape your voice as a writer? I
Woo,
don't know.
that's a
I
deep
don't know.
question there. That's a deep. Nobody ever asked me that question
I
before,
love
now. Well,
I love different questions. I have a book. I wrote
So
down some questions.
that's our first, that's our first survival. All right. I'm gonna see how I
Okay.
could answer that. I think being a Trinidadian and the cultural background and the cultural heritage that we have, it gives a lot of voice to my creativity. And
Mm-hmm.
I think in general all Trinidadians as well, because there are certain nuances in my poetry, not all of them, some of them,
Mm-hmm.
which which mirrors the cultural diversity of Trinidad and Tobago. My last book, excerpts from Agostini, well, most of the chapters actually, the heading are written in patois. So there's a lot
Mm.
of cultural um, richness in what we do. So I
Yes.
think I have answered your question to the best of my ability. That was a
Well,
very interesting question.
oh well, I must keep it and ask different people because before I started, well, like 2 years ago, I always wanted to do, get a platform for us or any creative people, not just authors. I had that dream as well. I have many dreams, and then I think I was kind of shy. So I wouldn't say fearful. I was shy to come on and
Right.
a live where people seen you, and I was like, no. And I keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, and then one day I was like, girl, is this fair? I say, girl, go there and do your thing. You never know. Even if one person watches up, and then you're
One,
highlighting other people, and it's a nice thing, and you never know who will be inspired by somebody. So then
one
I
life
said,
to live. One life to live.
yes, that's right. And so I decided, and I like it. I like meeting people and hearing what you have to say. So I wrote down like 20 or 30 questions in a book. So I said every time somebody come on, I wouldn't ask them. So same questions, all right. Ask them like
Right.
two or four. And then every
Okay.
when I'm interviewing somebody, I always ask them completely different questions. So right now I have so many questions in a book. That's what I'm gonna just look to pull out and and then I do a little research on the person, a little one, and then find out what
Okay.
question is suited. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I try to be different. I don't know if I am, but I
Okay.
like that I ask you questions that nobody ever asked before, so that's a great thing.
Yeah, that was an interesting question. I like that question. Yeah, I like
Mm-hmm.
that
Well, I
question.
know you partly answered this already because I was going to ask you: are there any Trini sayings, folklore, or cultural moments that have found their way into your poetry, but also your or the patois? So.
Yeah, the last book will have some patois
Mm-hmm.
chapters in patois. Well, the headings actually are written in patois. Yeah.
And that's good too. I find that is I like when people write and they do something different. Their book is different. I know I have a lot of people who wrote about a cat, but have they ever written about a French bushy cat with a Spanish name who lived in France then go to Brooklyn? I don't know. He's always raining on my parade. Why you always have to be in the what? He always had to interrupt me, boy. And he have a lot of catitude, not attitude, eh? Catitude. Okay. And you could tell people where they could get your books as well, so they could, if anybody want to purchase, and everybody should purchase Joel Frederick books because you could always learn something. Maybe you learn something about yourself as well, and it's great reading as well. So you can tell them, or you could put it in the if you could do that, like you could tell them, and you could, if you want, you could put it in the chat so people could know.
So,
Yeah, you could do both.
well,
You know, I'm a
all of
slow
my
typist. So,
all of my books right now are available on Amazon.com. I have a few books at Scribbles and Quills in Lange Park in Shogunas. And then if anybody wants to get a personalized copy, they could contact me at 326-6404 and they will get their personalized copy. I'm trying to move away from the brick and mortar stores because I realize, having done this for a number of years, that
mm,
most, if not all of the local bookstores don't really push local authors. It has
Yeah.
been my experience is that they tend to put most of the local books in a shelf down to the back of the
Mm-hmm.
store. You
Yes.
have to go dig and find, unless your book has a very thick spine with your name and whatever on it, everything is down to
Mm-hmm.
the back. All international
Yes.
books and things are more to the front. So your books stay there for years until you do
Mhm.
your own promotion and your
Yeah.
own marketing. And so I kind of moving away from that. But I know I know it's a work in progress because most of us are still trying to get our name out
Out
there
there.
because
Yes.
don't if you don't have your name and no one knows you, your book will stay there unless you're
Yes.
very good at marketing and promotion. And I've done a
Mm-hmm.
couple of marketing and promotion stuff in the malls, but it is time consuming and tedious.
Yes.
But of course it's all about making a name for yourself. So I understand it comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm saying, the bookstores themselves don't really push much
No.
of the local authors. They put
Yes.
them in a little dark closet in the back there. And
Mm-hmm.
as you author, keep pushing your stuff and driving people towards buying your books and things. So anybody want to purchase my books, they can contact me or I'll be grateful if they could go on Amazon and buy the books there and leave a nice critical review because most
Yes.
of the reviews kind of validate your work as well and give your work some credence as well as some validity going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know how important it is to get a review for us. Getting reviews when you buy our books, whether it's online or in person, is very important to us. And Amazon as well. It goes up and stuff in numbers and stuff like that. And people should support indie authors. It's so important for you all to support supporters. Sometimes you don't just have to buy a book. Introduce our book, get a picture, put us on your pages, tell somebody about us. Even buy a book and tell a friend or give our book as gift to friends and stuff. Christmas is coming up just now. And look right now, we Christmas in July. What you all waiting on? You know? Do that for us.
Exactly.
It's very it's a lot of hard work to be an author. Let me tell you. Not just you have to advertise, you have to market. It's so much thing, and it's only you alone because you're independent author doing everything. So let me tell you, it sometimes 24 hours in the day is not just enough for me because sometimes there's so many things. Sometimes when I come home in the evening, I'm so exhausted because my brains is like, oh my God, my brains. Okay.
I think I will share something with you. I will share something with you, Hazel.
Yes.
Is not only the independent authors who has difficulty in promoting a book because
No.
I remember a couple years ago, one of these international publishing houses had contacted me. I can't remember the name of
Mhm.
the publishing company, but they wanted me to publish with them, and they
Mhm.
wanted me to pay them to publish with
Mm-mm.
them. So I
Mm-mm.
said, "All right, no
Mm-mm.
problem. But
No.
are you all doing the promotion and the marketing?" They say, well, no, I still
No.
have to do this. So I feel like that didn't make
Mm-mm.
any sense because I am
Yes.
just paying you for the honor of publishing with you. If
Yes.
you're reaching out to me, I will say, well, okay, why we don't strike out a deal? Whatever I publish with you, whatever books sell or whatever, you take out a commission, and then I'll get a
Mhm.
commission, and then it cover your back end. And they say no, so I say, okay, no problem. I
No.
will continue publishing. I want publishing.
Yes.
So even if sometimes you go through the traditional route, you
Mhm.
still with the work of promoting and marketing your book. It depends
Right.
on which company you're publishing
Mhm.
with.
But I
Yeah.
think those that want you to pay, they call them vanity publishers, and I hear they charge a lot of money, and they do half
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
work. And some of them, like they take
exactly.
your books,
Yeah,
and they don't do
yeah.
anything, and they never give you anything. I have a friend in England. They did that.
Mhm.
I met him on a podcast in England, not in England, but in Trinidad, and I was on it, and he told me that, and I was like, what? And they like only paid him for one, and his book. He wrote a book about the Atlantic slave trade, and he write a good
Mm-hmm.
book. And they did that. I said, no, why you pay people to publish a book? I say, we all in the business of making money. It's not about that. We want our voices to be heard and stuff. But why would I
Yeah.
pay somebody to publish my work? No, they have to pay me. I'm not supposed to pay them,
Exactly.
because when you get a good publisher, they carry your books all over the world. China, they do all the publishing. You could advertise and thing as well, but the majority, if I get a publisher today or tomorrow, I will still publish like nobody's business, because who I know
Yeah.
they don't know and stuff like that. But I'm not doing no vanity publishers. I hear them as a lot of people just get tired up with those vanity. Why are paying somebody
That's
$50,000 to help? I don't know.
yeah. 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 And they might never even
Yeah.
make back that book. They might even make
No,
back that money.
no.
So yeah, that's
No, and
crazy.
yeah, and some of
Yeah.
them are like scammers and stuff. You have to be careful who you're giving your work to
Mm-hmm.
out here as well. It's a serious business. People don't know how serious that is. And then sometimes they take your book, next thing it's on Amazon, big, big, selling millions, and they thief everything. I don't know. I'm not saying, well, we ain't call any names or anything, but it happens. Sometimes ordinary people thief your work, tell you all kind of thing. I met a
Yeah.
publisher in New York. She heard me read somewhere, and that lady, but I was so shy. Yes, I was actually shy. I'm still shy. And she wanted to
Yeah.
publish me, and I met the lady 3 times. And I was like, what are all these people me? And I remember talking to this American guy, and I telling him, he said, Gil, what do you think? Just because you're in New York? Gil, you don't meet publishers and think just walking down the street, that is a serious business. He said you should
Yeah.
have taken that opportunity, because you don't just meet publishers and agents just walking down. And she was
Yeah.
published. He had published a guy, American Jamaican guy. He was a messenger, and he wrote this poetry and short stories book. It's so good. I have it here. He's really a fantastic writer, and I bought his book. And she was I don't remember what I read, but she was so in awe of me. And then she said she asked me like where I get the idea for the story. And I say, Miss, if you know the amount of characters that live up in my head rent free, it's not good. They should be paying rent. And she thought about characters because some movie so well. My brain don't stop thinking about things like that. It's like I always wonder what happened after, even if it's not real. I don't know. That is how my brain. I think authors' brain work different to people who don't write. I think our
Hmm.
brains are wired different because we think about the most sometimes weird stuff and we write. Although it could be true, even if it's fiction. But I think our brains, maybe as we write, are kind of wired differently from people who don't
Yeah,
write.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. We tend to see the world differently, Hazel. Tend to see the
Yes,
world.
that is it.
Yeah,
That is it.
and I think sometimes that makes most of us kind of reclusive in a certain way because our brilliance does kind of draw us away from society and make us seek solitude because sometimes we see
Hmm.
the negative side so much. We don't want to mix much with people, but because we are part of the world, we have no choice but to put ourselves out there.
Yes.
Well, I can speak from my own point of view. That's how sometimes I feel. Sometimes I feel like
Hmm.
I'm blessed and good because has given me this gift that I'm able to see the negative part of life and the
Yes.
positive part of life. And sometimes I'm seeing so much of negative. I just want to
Hmm.
be by myself.
Yes. Yeah, I understand. That is so true. Yeah. You know,
But
we really
not to be saying things outside the box, and we have a wild
yeah, we
imagination, and that's correct. It fuels
yeah.
our creativity.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's so right. She's a fellow Trini, and she also write poetry as well. She's a
nice one.
poetress. Yes.
Poetress.
Trini-licious. Yeah, she's a poetress. I don't know if is that even a word. I don't know.
I
And I
don't
find as authors, I invent my own words and I take it and I put it in my book. Like, look, it's mine. I took it. Sometimes you just wonder which is this is a word already, or I just make up this. Which is it? But we just
I'm
okay. I'll
not
just going
sure.
to. Hmm?
Yeah. not sure. I'm not sure if it's a word. I'm not sure.
No, maybe it's not a word, but it's our word now. I could just ask you two more questions if you're up for it, and then we could sign off. I don't like to make it but it's not boring. I so enjoying talking to you and learning so much and your process of writing and your books and stuff and everything. If you could speak to your younger self, just starting out with a pen and notebook, what would you say?
Whew, you asking
Oh
some hard
Lord.
questions that
I
make
like that.
you
I'll keep these questions. I'll start to
deep
ask more
into
people these.
into my mind now. Well, if I were to talk to speak to my younger self, as an author or as as a as a person trying to find themselves in life, is that where you're coming from?
Well,
Or speaking as
you
my
could
younger
answer
self?
for both. You could answer for both as an author or anything. You could answer whatever you want to, or you could answer for the both.
I will answer from two facets. If
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, if I'm going to speak to myself as a young author, um,
Yes.
I will say build a platform before you even consider writing a book, because
Mm-hmm.
I understand, having been probably in this industry for a little while, even if your book is the best book in the world,
Yes.
and no one knows about the
Mm-hmm.
book will not sell. It's
That's right.
important because even whilst you're writing the book and you're not finished the book, you should invite people along the journey, because there's so much of
Yes.
things on social media now with TikTok and Instagram and all these other social media apps now, that it's important
Mm-hmm.
to build a platform now. So when your book is finally published, people now will be invested in your book and in your journey, and they will want
Yes.
to feel and taste and read and
Yes.
ingest the final product. So build that platform and that community around your book before you actually publish the book. But if I had to talk to my younger self with a pen and paper, I will just say embrace life and don't sweat the small stuff. We all just passing through here. We're not staying here forever. Yes, life
Mm-hmm.
happens. Life will be hard. It's a journey, but it's according to how you respond to these challenges. It will
Yes.
either make or break you. So
Mm-hmm.
continue to strive for greatness, even if life kicks you.
Mm-hmm.
The courage is in getting up a million times and
Yes.
pushing towards your destiny. I am not sure if this writing is my purpose, but I'm surely giving it a hell of a chance, because I don't have a plan B. My
Mm.
plan A is my first love is the writing. So if this is my purpose, I'm going to stick at it until
Mm-hmm.
God says, well, no, try
Yes.
something else, but I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
continue towards my purpose.
Yes. I think it's your purpose because God gave us that creative. God gave you that creative gene for a reason. Sometimes we just know well. Sometimes it's not just about the books and stuff, but well, it's about the books, but you know it has so much more involved in getting a book out there. Also, the people you inspire, your messages and stuff like that is a lot, you know. But
Mhm.
I was years ago. I wasn't on social media, Facebook, nothing, and I remember that same publisher. She asked the class if our class wasn't her class. She just came in and was published the guy, and she was asking a lot of questions because we're in a writing class. No, they're not teaching us to write. They just used to give prompts and we read it, and then people critique it. Not bad critique, because some people are very soft and they might cry, so they didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I find sometimes you could give people a good critique, because that will make you, like, oh, is that a doing? You can be soft, but not everybody could take those kind of critiques. So she asked me why I was on Facebook and stuff like that. I think then it was just Facebook. I don't know if it had anything else. And I was like, why for people to mark your business? I don't know. I was just like, why would I be on those things? Because you was used to hear all kind of thing, see all kind of thing. I said, I don't want She said, but then you want to be a writer? I said, but I am a writer already because I write every day. She says, so how you want people to know about your work if you put it out there? And I say, huh? And then she started to explain, you must have a social, you must have your social media. You must. And then then she stated that okay, so if you the first thing like an agent and publishers just do is go on a social media platform. She say like, okay, so in the case like you have 10,000 followers and you write a book. She say, what are the odds? Of course they will take you because you already have a big following already. So
Exactly.
yeah, 9 times out of 10 is 10,000 books you're selling and as your book come out, or maybe 9,000, whatever. So she say, build up a presence and thing. And, she opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I was like, what? Now I have to go on there and do what? And I was slow to start with it. But that day when I went on Facebook and I really listened to her in a lot of these things. The only thing I didn't do was call her to, because she was asking me to give my let's see what I'm working with and stuff, and I was so anyway. But that ship sailed. Maybe never know, it might come back. But that was a teachable moment. And yes, and we're supposed to talk about our books and put it out there on social media. I always tell people if they're writing to start to talk about your book like now, even if it's coming out 5 years from now. So by that fifth year it come out, everybody and the mother don't know about that already, and people will want to. But people like, no, why would I put up my book out there and it's not coming out now? Because that is what the publisher said you should do. That is what we're
Yeah.
supposed to do. But
Yeah.
some people don't take advice until when it come out, then they realize, I should have really be talking about this before. But yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, I remember when I Senior Fluffy, before the book published, I just sent out his picture. I think, can't remember if COVID was on already or maybe near. I just said, this is the picture of the cover. The book is not finished yet. Because please don't ask me about book to buy, whatever. I don't know if anybody, let me tell you, Jolie, among DMs, phone calls I get, and here silly me, no, the book is not available, so I cannot do nothing. I should have just tell those people, like take all the info that they send, like the money
Yeah.
through the bank or whatever, and just post
Yeah.
it out to them
Yeah.
after. But first time you don't know, I was so clueless. And like say like if I got 500 calls when the book came out, those 500 people, some of them still wanted it, but not as much.
Okay.
I mean, it's still a good bit, but it's like, oh my
Mhm.
God, next book, I'm not making that mistake, though. Mm-mm. No,
Yeah.
I'm taking, yeah. But, we live, we learn. We live, we
Yeah.
learn.
It's
Okay.
a new experience. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, I'll just ask you, let me see. Are there any writers or artists, local or global, who've influenced your journey?
Oh, you're asking some really nice questions there, Hazel.
Aww,
Um, yeah, really nice. Yeah, I like your line of question because
thank
it
you.
became a search my mind now. Yeah, well there are two authors, of course. Maya Angelou, of course,
Mm-hmm.
published everyone's favorite author. But
Yeah.
there's also a author that I like her style of writing. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
write she writes some very long poetry, but
Yeah.
I tend to like her work a lot because you don't need to say much to get your point across. Her name is
Yeah.
Nicole Lyons. I think she's a Canadian author. She's based in Canada, and
Mm-hmm.
I love her style. I love her style of writing. So I
Yeah.
tend to emulate and mirror her style to a certain degree, not to take her style wholly and solely, but it resonates with my own personal style of writing. So she's one of those authors that I admire a lot.
Oh,
Nicole Lyon.
oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. I'm not a big fan of poetry, but when I was in New York, it have a lot. Well, everybody. I used to read poetry when I was much younger, although I'm still 25 to anybody out there who is asking. But some poetry, some people could not that the poetry is nice, but sometimes when people read poetry, it's like, what are they even speaking about? And sometimes I hear some people read poetry, and it's like the word has hit you so hard. It's like,
Yeah,
wow, that is
yeah,
poetry, like that. It have this American guy when in the class, when you see he writes, so everybody used to be so attentive. And the day I critique him, I didn't even know what to say. I say, boy, your words is just like when you read it, just flows out of like a bottle like molasses, but it's so slow before it hit. I don't know. I was just into some like a kind of zone trying to critique his work, but that's the words
yeah.
that came through my mouth, something with molasses and something, and everybody was like, I say, well, I don't know what that mean, but but he said he take that in a good way, and it was so good and thing. But yeah, that did. And I say a long time before I could have read my pieces in those classes because sometimes a lot of thing I used to write a lot about fairy tales and stuff. I don't know, I just like fairy tales. And
Okay.
giving a dog a life or whatever it is, or a cat, but and when I started to read, people were so like, "Oh my God!" And you keeping these stories for yourself, girl. These stories are good. I say, like, who really want to hear about a cat or the three little pigs living a life of whatever, But you see, people sometimes with ourselves, we might say our words. It's just so. I mean, to us, it's just so small or not small. It's just maybe insignificant or whatever, but to other people when they hear it, even if it's about a French bushy cat, you know, a plush
Yeah,
French bully cat, you
you
know.
might think that your words or your creativity is something simple, but to others it's
Mhm.
inspiring. It's
Yes.
inspiring. So don't be afraid to tell your story and continue to tell your story because, as I say, if even if it inspires one person, then you know
Mm-hmm.
your job has
But
been
yeah.
fulfill your purpose. So don't be discouraged.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. I mean, I love it. I love writing and I love telling stories. I just want to do it in a bigger way and a different way. Try different things and always trying to come up with different ways where I could, maybe impact people and not just the young people, but the older people as well too. Because sometimes, like on social media on different platforms, they always saying one. It only takes one book to be for a child to, Yes, we all love
Mhm.
want children to read more and stuff like that. But what about the people who have never read before? What about the people who don't know really about books? And it's everybody. And I don't say reading is for young people alone. Reading literacy is for everybody. So I want to include everybody in that, not just young children. It's for everybody. I find people should read it, no matter if it's the Bible, an encyclopedia. When you don't read, you don't know, you're lacking knowledge. Reading is so important, and you don't need a passport to read a book. You don't need reading takes you so many places. You meet dragons, kings, queens, so many. I don't know. I just love reading, and sometimes I just wonder from when I was younger if that is such a weird thing. I remember when I used to go to primary school, they used to say, "Oh, you're so stupid. You don't know how to read chapters." And I say, and they calling me stupid, and I reading. And I used to tell them, I don't need pictures to tell me a story. And I was like 6 or something.
Yeah.
I don't need pictures. And I just used to read books without pictures because I didn't need a picture. It had the words there telling me the story, and it just painting like a vivid picture.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
As I remember growing up, my mother used to buy a lot of these investigative hardcover books. I
yeah,
don't know if
I
you
love
remember
them.
them, like the Hardy Boys and things. Man, my mother
Mm-hmm.
used to buy something. Yeah, I used to just be, as you saying, you don't need no pictures, but you're reading the
Yeah,
story and the story is so vivid that it actually
yeah,
painting. It's like actually reading a movie and you're seeing all the characters playing out
yeah,
their part
yeah,
on the page. Man, I think probably that is what sparked my creativity as well, though, because that reading from an early age, it sparks something in your some kind of chemical in your brain, and it sparks creativity. So I understand. Even today, I was
yeah.
remembering a story I read when I was going primary school called I think it was written by Merle Hodge, called Millicent. The story of
Mm,
Millicent was a young girl, one of those barrel children, and them, right? She had plenty nice clothes. She didn't used to come to school with a uniform on, and she felt that
mm,
she was the brightest thing in the class. And then she
wow.
alienated a lot of her school friends who were friends before. And then she
Mm-hmm.
used to buy plenty nice snaps and things for her classmates and so on. And then when
Yeah.
come to the end of the term test, she come last. And then all the
Wow.
friends who she thought were her friends end up leaving
Mm-hmm.
her, and she
Right.
became the laughing stock of the school. So it was something around that the moral of the story was pride going before a fall, because she felt that she was untouchable and nobody could have
Yes.
touched her because had all the
Mm-hmm.
nice things in life and she was entitled to certain nice treatment. And then at the end of the day,
Mm,
when her mask came out, everybody saw her for who she was. So something
yes.
like that, from an early age, when you're reading those stories, it tend to do something to your mind and give you that kind of creative juice. Yeah, according to Natalie, each story has its own image. Yeah,
Yes.
so you don't
Yes.
need no picture to enjoy the book, you know.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Maureen. She said she's loving the conversation.
Nice,
And
man.
no need, better late than never. That's okay. Sometimes 5 o'clock, so many people still cooking and doing things. The important thing is you join, and we are so appreciative of that. You have some excellent you're good guest, Frederick Joel.
Thank you.
You're a very good guest, and I love your answers as well. So sometimes I do. Okay, this is your last question. I don't want I want you to go and eat dinner. You might like, oh my God, like I going on until 10 o'clock tonight. What do you hope readers feel after finishing one of your books?
Um, Basically, just to be inspired.
Yes.
Most of my books have, of course, love is the main theme, but
Mm-hmm.
also inspiration is one of the overlapping themes as well. Anybody who reads any of my projects at all, I just want them to be inspired, even if they don't read the whole book and they just read probably one poetry piece or two poetry pieces. I just want them, the takeaway I want them to get is to be inspired in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's beautiful. Yes. I think being inspired is like, oh my God, like when people tell you, I'm so inspired. I read your book and I'm so inspired. Or I read this chapter, I read this story, and it's like, what? I inspire you, somebody. It's always such a humbling moment when somebody tell you that you inspired me, or Senior Fluffy inspired them. I was like, okay, fine, that is good to inspire. It's a nice feeling. It's a lovely
Yeah.
feeling. So I had a few people told me that already. They say that I'm very inspired. I am very inspiring, and I always take that as a very high compliment. Because it's nice to inspire someone to do better or live out their dreams or whatever, even if it's to write or whatever. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Something I want to say, but I think I forgot. To go. I like to go like an hour. I don't want it like it to be boring, but you're such a good guest. I thank you for. Although I couldn't see you, but I know what you look like already. But it's nice that you could actually see the guest, but people could see you as well. So that's great, and I will try to get this on a roll, and you could always come back. I want to. Natalie James said she wants to marry Senior Fluffy. Look,
Well, you better buy
she
the suit. You
didn't
better
love.
buy the suit.
Huh? Yeah, buy the
I
suit
say you
and
better
thing,
buy
and
a suit.
I'll come to North Carolina and we'll get it on. It will be hard to give him up, but I don't know because it have a
As long
red
as
woman that come.
Hmm.
That will be a big wedding, right? Joel and everybody will come. Yes, we will. We'll have a thing, but I don't know if he'll stay married. I don't know if he have a roofing eye, Gil. I don't know. He's a chick magnet. He's a chick magnet. Oh gosh. But I think if anybody else want to say anything to Joel, or if anybody loving the information being shared by two seasoned authors. Oh, I'm seasoned. Am I time? Turmeric, which one? As a young author, I'm soaking it all in. Thank you, Curtin. That is so sweet. I love inventing words. Peer, sorry you joined slowly. That's okay, Maureen. Late is once you're here, that's important. I know. Yeah, but it was so nice having you, and thank you for being such a great guest. That
No
was
problem,
awesome. And
Hazel. Thanks for
of course,
having me.
time. And if anytime you just want to come on and shoot the breeze, just say hey and let me know, and we'll do that. I just did this just to give people a voice, because we always want to get out there and get on different, like the TV, radio, and stuff. So I think, I don't know, I just having this is good, because the people I know you don't know, and you never know. People never know who will see people. Somebody could just hear your answer a question, and you never know. Next thing I know, you're in Dubai doing something, and I was like, wait, it's because he was on my show. I should be in Dubai too. No, I'm kidding. But you never know. Wherever we
Yeah,
go, we never know
yeah,
what will be that day
yeah.
that we might just get. So it's good to spread our wings and get out there, no matter the platform, because it have eyes all over, and we just never know. And everybody, thanks for joining in. It's so sweet of you all. I know some people are still asking me about that sweet bread I baked last week. Maybe I'll start to do a little baking on a Sunday. I'm not promising. People still asking me about sweet bread. Because if they had read Senior Fluffy or bought Senior Fluffy, then they would know that it have recipes in the book. So every story I write, basically with Senior Fluffy, series, it will have recipes, because he going on a Caribbean trip now. So any, like Trinidad, I put in sweet bread. Well, it's Trinidad, so it have double fat Caribbean fish cake. So if they go to Jamaica, of course it will have a special dish like ackee and saltfish. If they go Barbados, well, I don't know what Barbados food is, but of course Tobago is like curry crab and dumpling or whatever. So it will just have a, yeah. So. So that's why I made that sweet bread last week, and it was so delicious. I didn't even have a slice right now to eat. It finished like so quick. By the Monday, Tuesday it was done, and Wednesday bake to Sunday. People want me to yeah, so thanks to all again, and thanks everybody tuning in. It has been a wonderful Sunday evening with you all here, and I so appreciate you all coming on every Sunday or whenever you all could, to listen to the program and listen to the guests and being inspired and be motivated and stuff like that. And certainly Joel is full of motivation and inspiring, and he's a great guest. And go there, and he's a great author and writer, poet as well. So go out there, and he has 7 books. If you could buy all 7, that is so good. You could buy 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but please don't go out there and don't by none. We know it is with money and stuff, but any little support for us is good. Even if you could buy it on ebooks, that is great as well. So go out there and support the authors. You can call him, get the book in person. He can even ship it to you. If you don't want to go Amazon, he'd ship it to you and all. Yes. I'm not his manager, but he could hire me as his manager. That would be great. So you have a wonderful night, and thank you again, everybody. Have a great week ahead. I hope it's not too hot this week. Oh. You
All
have
right, take
anything
care,
else you
Hazel.
want to say, Joel? Oh, okay. He have nothing he wants to say. So
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
yes, he's in. Oh, Maureen said, I love what you're doing. And I agree with you. We need much for your efforts. God bless you. And the same to you as well. Thank you. Hi, Teresa. And thanks, everybody. See you next Sunday at 5.
Bye.
Have a great night, Joel and everybody. Thanks again.